So the All-Star game just happened, and the viewership wasn't all that great. What do you think that the NHL can do to try to bring viewers back to the NHL All-Star weekend?
Changing here. McDavid, beautiful move. Front back the ball, over to Crosby. He scores! Crosby, 500! Watch this play between the legs, comes right back to him.
But man, oh man, has his kid got some hands.
The net, it looks like he's going for the old Michigan. He brings it up. Miller goes to knock it off. He shoots it in front.
Oh, what a pass!
Away, gains the zone around Kubalik. Back to Foligno. He scores! A lot of mustard on it.
Ovechkin score! The Grade 8 Express pulls into third place all time.
This is the Pucked Up Podcast.
Welcome back again to the Pucked Up Podcast, everybody. I am joined here, as every week, with my besties for the resty. We have D-Bag91 and Chris, a.k.a. Finjif, a.k.a. Hey You, because sometimes we don't know what to call you.
Or my favorite,
Sometimes
what's
we
up,
get-
Baldy?
What's up, Baldy?
I don't think I've ever
What's up,
called you Baldy, but I
Shorty?
may have to start.
Right? Yeah. Baldy's Basics. What?
Yeah.
That was rude, but still funny. I don't regret it.
Agreed.
So welcome back this week. Not a whole lot happened in the grand scheme of the NHL this last week, but we did have the All-Star weekend, which I did watch. For the most part, I did enjoy it. There are definite things that I think that they can improve on for next year. But overall, it was fun. And anybody who says that Obi Jr. did not steal the show has a cold, dead heart on the inside. Chris, anything you'd like to add?
Honestly, the fact that little Ovi scored on Luongo, man, that kid has
I know,
bragging
it was
rights.
I was like,
forever.
Luongo, if you do not let him score on you, you are dead to me. And then he just falls
Right?
over. I'm like,
Just
good man.
Let him score.
Good job, Luongo.
You let that boy score.
I was
It was so cute.
a fan of seeing Sarah Nurse showing her talents.
Yeah.
For those who aren't aware, Sarah Nurse is the cousin of NHL player Darnell Nurse and WNBA player Kian Nurse.
I thought they
She's
were brother
also,
and
like-
sister.
Nope, she is their cousin. So Darnell's sister is Kian.
And my grandma, every time she tells me about them, which is every time one of them is on TV,
Yep.
she says that they're siblings.
Nope.
So she's wrong.
Yeah, so
Grandma
Sarah's
Wisely.
the cousin.
Okay.
She's also a fantastic player in her own right.
Oh
she,
my God,
Mhm.
yeah.
No, she is.
She got skills for days.
I was just giving my grandma a hard time on watching the game and stuff because she's like, "Did you know that she's related to Darnell?" I'm like, "Grandma, literally, like the last 4 times any of the two of them are on TV or at the game or at whatever, you tell me
Yeah.
this." She's like, "Oh,
I
God."
only know this because Darnell's sister Kia played for UConn. And like
Mhm.
her whole backstory and stuff. So
Yeah.
I can't
Right.
remember where she
No, that's
plays in the
fair. That's totally
WNBA
fair.
right now, but I'll have to look that up because it's gonna bother me later.
I think she
No,
does.
honestly, All-Star Weekend's great every year.
It
It's
is.
cool
It's
to see the
fun.
personalities of the players, and it's cool. It's cool to just everyone to just have fun,
Right.
and seeing how talented people really are. No,
Right.
I was, I always, it's the only All-Star game I look forward to every year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
I
is
love
fun.
it.
I did think a lot of the competitions were unique. I liked that they incorporated the surfboards for the one outside, which was,
Mhm.
unique to Florida, which was fun.
Yeah.
The golf stuff being incorporated was kind of fun and different. I really missed the mask, and I don't know when the last time they did a mascot game was, but that's what I remember from like old school.
I know, it feels like it's been
Uh,
forever.
All-Star game. I'm sure it has been, but I was like, "What is Sunday night the mascot game?" And my grandma was like, "No." I'm sad. Although they did make Pasternak's breakaway competition bit that much funnier, in my opinion, because one of them, and I don't remember which mascot it was, just said, "I don't even like pasta" on their sign. And that was basically
So
all I was
funny.
saying every time Pasternak was on TV. I was like, "I don't even like pasta."
That's funny.
Yeah.
That
Absolutely.
made my life. And then when the mascots let the confetti cannons go off and they had to delay the second game or whatever to clear the ice, and we're looking at all of the mascots turn around and like be like they're all in trouble and whatever, and I'm like, oh, Nordy's not with. I knew that Nordy was above those criminals, you know, or whatever. Matt was laughing at me, but no, I think in general it was good, you know, overall.
Yeah, I mean, I think they did some interesting things. They replaced the
Yeah.
save streak with the Tendy Tandem, which we're talking
Yeah.
about, where Sarah Nurse
Which was
got to
interesting.
participate. It was interesting. It was kind of confusing as explained. So it was interesting to see it like in action. You know what I mean? It made more sense when you saw it.
Right.
But I think that that's part of, like, people will be like, what the hell is the goddamn Tendy Tandem? Like, because it didn't make sense when, like, the initial release about what it was put out.
Right.
And then obviously the other two new skills competitions were the splash shot and the pitch and puck because of where they were. They had to make it like specific to Florida and all that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's always a good time, but the viewership this year was just so low. I mean, it was up from last year, which is nice. But I think, like, if we talk about the reasons why it was up, I don't think that it's the reasons that the league wants.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, one of the reasons, I'm just going to say it, I think having Crosby and Ovechkin playing on the same team drew a little bit of viewership.
Not only on the same team, but on the same
Especially since it was
line.
announced they were going to do the breakaway shot or challenge.
Right. When they released that they were going to jointly do the breakaway challenge, I thought that was cool.
I did love a quote that Ovechkin had during the week of press and stuff, and they were talking about him and Crosby and their storied careers, and obviously, you know, the polarization they've
rivalry.
had. And that they've had their whole career. And he said, I think he said something like, "When we retire, and I hope it's together, we'll have a couple beers."
Yeah,
like just showing he like said, their friendship and like.
Right.
I was like
they have tremendous respect for each other.
Right, and they've been painted as bitter rivals because their whole career they've been pinned against each other, and it's funny that they're good friends. They text all the time, like you know.
To be fair, that has improved. There was a period of time where that rivalry wasn't just like played up for camera. Like they really did have an actual rivalry for a little bit. But like they were also fucking 20 years old. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
they've buried the hatchet.
They bought into that. And then eventually they grew up a little bit and they were like, why? Absolutely not. Like, let's just be cool with each other. And so, they do text each other from time to time. Having Ovi Jr. participate in the breakout challenge was super cute. And I love that Crosby was so on board for that. You know?
Well, and Crosby, I guess, is the one that initially asked Junior if he wanted to lead the team out on the ice for like the initial entrance, which is super cute. One of my favorite pictures is, and they titled it like the picture that says everything, and it's an excited son and a proud dad, and it's them coming down the tunnel, and Junior's just running onto the ice, and Ovi's got his phone out recording him, and I was like, oh, that's
just
so
being a dad,
cute. Like,
I did love. They asked Ovechkin asked his son who his favorite player was, and spoiler alert, it's not Ovechkin.
No.
For some reason, Sergei Ovechkin's favorite player is Nicholas Aubé-Kubel. I don't know why.
But at least
I mean, I guess it's someone on the team that, like, whose personality he enjoyed.
Yeah,
maybe.
I don't know.
I enjoyed watching him and Kirill
I can't
goof around and have.
So Ovechkin said that Kirill was Sergei's second favorite babysitter.
Yeah. Well, and then I guess Ovi said, well, and maybe this is what they meant, but I heard it reported a little differently, but who knows if it was misunderstood at that point. But that Ovechkin said his first choice for a babysitter would be Igor Shishkorskin.
Shishkorskin.
Yeah, that one. And the second one would be Corral, I think is what he had said.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe it was, really Sergei's opinion of the matter.
Dude, I don't know if I'd let a goalie watch my kid. Goalies are fucking crazy.
Goalies are crazy.
Apparently.
Apparently Shesterkin's not that crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, overall, I mean, it was nice to see some of the guys, but like we talked about last week, without like rehashing the whole conversation, I do think that the league can do a better job on at least bare minimum have one person from each team. And somebody in one of the wild Facebook groups I'm on mentioned was like, their idea, and I think it was a great idea, was like maybe it should be whoever's the point leader like the week before they leave for the All-Star break. Like that person is an automatic go, because then it's really bringing the best of your team to each year. And I know that's not always the most practical way, but I think they can do better than having 2 or 3 people from the same team. I mean, the one, not that I'm sad about how the Central Division did in the, like, head-to-head match.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we didn't win, but we finally made it the first round.
Right.
But having an entire line that all played on the Stanley Cup winning team, like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a little bit unfair, and that's a little bit, well, not even that it's unfair, but it's just less fun to watch. If I want to watch the 3 of them on the same line, I'll tune into an Avs game. It's fun to see guys that play together that haven't for a long time.
That's a fair point.
Yeah. I'd like to see a better balance of veterans and beginners as well. Because it's great to see Ovechkin and Crosby play together, because we haven't seen them do that.
Not much, anyway.
Yeah.
Was there even a veterans
it would also be nice
here?
to see like younger players.
Sometimes they do with like a younger team. Game, but that didn't happen.
Well, no, I mean, like I think like even on the same team, right? Like if we look at the Metropolitan Division, it was all like old guys.
Yeah, literally. Crosby,
I mean, that with all the love in the world, but like
I don't want to say
they've all been around for a minute.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, except for Jack Hughes is really only like 3 years in, but literally like Adam Fox. I mean, Svechnikov, Panarin, Ovi, Brock Nelson, Kevin Hayes, Johnny Gaudreau. Even though Johnny Gaudreau is like 29, he's still been playing since 2014.
And he's still like a huge name.
Well,
he's a big name.
Several of them that have been on the show, All-Star game for 6 or 7 times.
I guess I can't even say that Adam Fox is only 24. He's really only, I think he's only played like, this is like his 5th year.
Yeah, something like that. I just saw this on NHL.com too as I was scrolling, but apparently Adam Sandler approved of Pasternak's rendition of Happy Gilmore.
That was
and
so
tweeted
good.
back, "Love you fellas, made me smile big," which is very cute. Because that was a very cute breakaway challenge skit. I loved the combo golf club hockey stick that he used the 3rd time.
I guess
because at first I died laughing because I honestly thought he like tried to shoot it the first time and just happened to miss, and I was dying laughing, going, that sucks, pasta. But it was fun to like watch the Tkachuk brothers play. I guess I was watching the thing with their mom, and they've never ever played on the same team before.
No.
So to have them not only on the same team but the same line was really kind of fun. Watching them give each other shit. The one of them missed a goal, and the other guy happened to be on the bench already and is just like laughing super hard at, I think it was Brady was laughing at Matt. But
well, it's because Matt is 2 years older than Brady. So obviously they would have never coincided with playing with each other, except for maybe in high school.
They're just far enough apart. Right. But yeah, so it was definitely fun to say that Matthew Tkachuk did get named the MVP of the All-Star weekend with a goal and an assist in the final after getting 3 goals and 2 assists in the game where they won 10-6 against the Metropolitan Division in the semifinals, which was kind of fun. None of the other like real winners like struck out at me personally from the challenges. I did see a thing that Connor McDavid had, or I'm sorry, McJesus.
McJesus. I mean, that's a reasonable fucking nickname.
Well, PK Subban sat down with him and Nate McKinnon and said, I've been calling you both Mac, and I can't keep calling both of you Mac. So here are your 3 options for names. And he goes to McDavid and he goes, McJesus, Big Mac, or Mac Daddy, I think were his 3. And then he goes to McKinnon and he goes, you can be Baby Mac, Lil Mac, or something other Mac. And it was a little sketch.
McJesus
by the way,
great.
did an amazing job.
Fucking PK Subban is one of the best fucking personalities in hockey.
I love him so much.
Yeah. He and Biz need to fucking like do a show because I'm here for that.
I saw him the second day saying, because the first night, he had the jersey that he had Crosby and Ovechkin sign.
Yeah.
And then Ovi Jr. signed it, and he was saying, he's like, well, they never told me what to do with the jersey after I got the signatures. And he's like, so I just start carrying it around going, well, gosh, like if they're going to let me take it home, like I'm here for that. I'll happily keep it. So he ends up taking it home. And I guess Crosby texted him that night and was like, hey man, like what happened to the jersey? I don't know if Ovi already has dibs on it, but if he doesn't, I would really love to have it. And so PK Subban was like, so the next day I meet him in the hallway and I had him the jersey and he's like, and now Sidney Crosby owes me one. I was like, that's fair. That's fair. But I was curious, like, I didn't know if they were going to end up auctioning it off, which is what I assumed. But the fact that Crosby, like, wanted it was
I kind of think he wants it as a trophy, honestly.
I 100% think
I think it's personal use, you know what I mean? I think he's going to, like, put it in a
100%.
little shadow box.
He wants it, like, framed on his wall at home. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I want to give some love to Andrei Svechnikov. For winning fastest skater. 13.699 seconds is fucking bananas.
Insane. But that's what I was going to say, bringing up McDavid earlier was, I guess he did say that he is no longer going to compete in the fastest skater.
Because he's easily the fastest in the league. There's not a fucking question.
Well, and he said it's too dangerous.
He doesn't want to get hurt.
In general, he thinks it's dangerous for everybody. But especially for him and in this point in his career, it's not a thing that he needs to, do to prove himself anymore.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then I did find it interesting too. I guess Kirill was supposed to compete, and he gave up his spot to Fiala for fastest skater.
Interesting.
Which, I mean, Kirill is fast. I don't think that that's a competition that he ever would even feel the need to prove himself in. So that's probably why it didn't really matter to him a little bit more.
I just want to point out that when it comes to McDavid pulling himself out, in the 3 straight All-Star games that he won fastest skater, he was still faster than Svechnikov by like 0.2 to 0.3 of a second.
Right. No, and he, like we said, like he easily is the fastest in the league currently.
Yeah.
It's either him or Barzal.
Right. And doing a speed competition versus like how fast you can go in the middle of a hockey game are also 2 different things,
Yeah, absolutely.
But I thought that was an interesting thing that he just openly said, I'm done.
I get it. He doesn't want to get hurt, and again, like you said, I don't think he really feels the need to have to prove himself anymore. We all know how good he is.
Right. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I overall enjoyed watching it. I thought it was interesting. The Minnesota fan in me loved the fact that neither Crosby nor Ovechkin made it past the first round in the game, head to head.
Such a bummer.
Because normally that's where we lose out.
Yeah.
But I mean, we definitely kind of shit the bed.
And this is the first time since they've done 3-on-3 that a different division won besides the Metro or the Pacific. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I believe so.
Yep.
I know that we have never made it past the first round minimum, so at least Central has never won it.
Yeah, I mean, hey,
at least since they
Central, they made it to the finals at least, but
they did.
Right. Yeah, hey, I'll take it.
Like we all talked
Yeah.
about last week, man, I didn't think anyone was going to touch the Atlantic. Although, let's be real, if there were about 5 more minutes in that game was going to get real interesting
yeah,
at the
that
end.
game-
Because the
I
mean-
Central got hot right at the end.
I loved the one announcer to the other one did finally go when we scored like 3 goals, right? I think it
They
was
ripped off
before the
like
fourth
3 in a
one.
row. It's nuts.
Yeah, well, like they had 4 in a row, but I think it was after the third one where the guy goes, they do know that there's only 2 periods, right? Because it was like we had like 15 seconds left at that
That's
point.
right, Ray
Yeah.
Ferraro.
And
He goes, I don't know,
last
do
one,
they
like-
know that there's only 2 periods?
Yeah, yeah. I was like, well, I mean, at least try until that last second goes through. So yeah, they definitely picked it up a bit. And we're trying, but I see why so many people were pissed off because somebody was like on Facebook just goes, anybody else feel like they're throwing this game or like just letting goals go? And like, yeah, to an extent, like you don't want to like try super fucking hard because it's,
Yeah.
you know, in the grand scheme of things, it's for bragging rights more than anything for these guys, I'm sure. Well, and their stake of $1 million bucks.
We did finally get an answer to the question we had last week. That
Yeah.
was who was Bo Horvat going to represent? And
Yeah,
he
which
represented
is a
as a
Borvat.
I was going to call him Borvat, yeah.
You're gonna call him Borvat.
Borvat, which is
Borvat.
amazing.
But
Yeah.
he did, in fact, represent the Pacific Division as a member of the New York Islanders.
Yeah.
So
to-
weird.
Yeah, it's weird, but I mean, it's such an unprecedented, you know, position.
Yeah, I mean that's literally nothing that has ever
Yeah.
happened. I think that drastically anyway.
Yeah,
I think,
I can't
obviously
think
trades
of...
have happened, but I don't remember any trade
Yeah.
recently where they traded like through 2 different divisions.
They traded an all-star,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh, apparently Sarah Nurse was also offered a job by the Panthers to run their girls hockey program.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Hell
That's
yeah.
pretty
I'm
awesome.
here for
Well,
that.
she was down
Yeah.
there. I just happened to see that.
Yeah,
So that's cool.
speaking
Good
of-
for her.
Speaking of Bo Horvat, I know he had made some comments after that he was really happy that him and Elias Pettersson got to be on the same line and score a goal together because they played together, obviously, and he thought it was a really nice way to end sort of his time with that team,
Yeah.
which I
Right.
think is nice. Again, I said it before, we don't like how many teams got to send so many freaking players, but with that weird ass situation,
Right.
like it's
What are you
kinda
gonna
nice.
do? Yeah.
Well, and yeah, it's just interesting too that they replaced him with another like Islanders player, I want to say, or somebody else.
No,
got
I mean they didn't
replaced.
replace him at all.
No, they let him play, but it was
Oh.
just that was their
Oh no, the comment was
Fourth?
the comment that I read was something about how the Islanders just got another player and the Kraken then didn't have any
yeah. The
representation.
Islanders ended up
or
representing
something.
with 4 different players.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
I think was the most of any team. I think a lot of them had 3, but I don't think anybody else had 4.
I also will say, as of time of recording tonight, Bo Horvat officially registered his first goal with the Islanders. They beat the
Nice.
Kraken 4-0 tonight, and
Yeah.
he got his first goal, and Matt Barzell's the one that hit him with the assist. So, you know,
Nice.
shout out to Bo Horvat. That's
Yeah.
big news. New
I mean,
team,
and the
new
fact that
number,
they-
new, you know,
Yeah.
new look.
Yeah.
New year, new team, new number, new bow.
Yep.
But no, like, and the fact that they offered him a contract extension 4 days after trading for him, or 6 days,
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah.
it was, which is
Which a big
awesome.
one,
I mean,
too.
Yeah.
like, good for him.
Which we definitely will be covering, in a little bit,
Yeah,
too.
absolutely,
So,
absolutely. But speaking of other trades and trade news, was there anything other than?
yeah, there was a trade. The Sharks are continuing to make some moves. The San Jose Sharks traded Jacob Megna to the Seattle Kraken for a 2023 fourth rounder. This is their second trade in what I want to say a week and a half. They
Something
made
like
because
that,
they made
yeah.
another trade a little bit ago. I know Megna personally because he played for the Ducks. So like I've gotten to watch him play. I like him. I like his talent. Obviously, you know, he's 30, so he's kind of at his, you know, peak performance. He's got 12 points this year.
Okay.
So I mean, there's production there, but again, we're at a point where the Sharks are kind of just, bleh, I guess is the best way
Right.
to put it. I don't
Yeah,
really think there are words for what's
they're
going
not.
on in San Jose right now.
Yeah.
So I think this is a good move for them. Obviously, it's going to help bolster the defense for Seattle, which I think they need a little bit
Mhm.
more of.
Right.
But again, that's a team in their second season that's fucking shocking the world.
Right.
Right.
So
Right.
good move, good pick, 4th round pick. You can still get a solid player.
Yeah.
So that is the only trade that I am familiar with that has happened since
But
recording.
other than the ones that
Right.
we've talked about.
We do have a couple contract extensions. Like we
Okay.
mentioned, Bo Horvat, he just signed an 8-year deal with the New York Islanders to avoid him becoming a free agent at the end of the year. I don't think the specifics are out yet. They may be. I may not have found them, but as far as I'm aware, it is an 8-year deal. It's probably good. Bo's a good player. I assume he's gonna get good
Yeah.
pay. Also, at about 1:30 today, it was released that the Buffalo Sabres re-signed Dylan Cousins to a 7-year, $49.7 million contract, which averages out to
Yeah.
about 7.1. Dude, Cousins is killing it. He's been playing really well. He's got 43 points this season. I think what they're doing right now is smart in Buffalo. They re-signed Tage Thompson. They re-signed Samuelson. Keeping a lot of their younger players, which is good. Obviously, that team has had a lot of problems recently with whatever the hell they've been trying to do in Buffalo. But right now it seems to be working. So, you want to keep that young core together. And Dylan Cousins has played really well so far this year. So, it's going to be super exciting to see how these contracts pay out. Here, let me see really quick if I can actually find info on his contract, on Horvat's. Oh, all right. It's a 8-year, $68 million. So it's going to average probably about 8.5 a year.
Yeah.
Which, again, 8 by 8.5 is a good cap friendly contract for a team that's got a lot of big names on it right now. Well, not really big names, but a lot of, star-studded players in the sense that that team, again, I think we discussed this last week, that team should be doing way better than they are. But no, Bo, I think this is just going to show that Bo is going to fit in really well there. So
yeah, absolutely.
And again, he's earned that kind of money, I think.
So the question of the week that we wanted to discuss was specifically looking at the viewership for the All-Star game. Like we were talking about, not the worst we've ever seen, but definitely not the best. So what ideas do you guys have that the NHL maybe can try to implement to try to get that viewership back up again?
For one, I think do away with the 3-on-3. I don't think it's a format that works well. Like 3-on-3 for 2 periods. Come on. If we're gonna watch hockey, I want to see a full game, first of all. Both in time and in like number of players, or at least give us like 4-on-4. Because then you could possibly carry a larger roster. But B, it's just more interesting. You can do more interesting things with the puck, I think, in those circumstances than you can in 3-on-3. So that would be one thing I think that would help a lot. And also staggering the games, because it's all like back to back to back, boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
And I think if it like you do a morning game, an afternoon game, and then the evening game, I think the evening game viewership, again, if you do a full game, will be a lot higher.
Right. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Chris, did you have any ideas?
I think it's hard because in general, for all sports, nobody gives a fuck about the All-Star game. And it's sad because the All-Star weekend is meant to be fun. Um, it's meant to allow you to see all these different combinations of players come together and just play for whatever. And it's not like we're in the MLB where home field advantage is on the line for the playoffs.
Hmm.
And I think maybe adding some sort of stipulation like that
Yeah.
would be
Yeah.
cool. But again, it's hard to say because there are so many different things that they've tried, and I guess some of them work, some of them don't. I am
Right.
in the minority. I do enjoy the current format. I think it's cool to have you're separated by divisions. But I also did like the old style. Um, I think it's tough. Uh,
I like the divisions. I just wish that I just don't like the 3-on-3.
Yeah.
I love having it be the divisions though, because I think it mimics the season
I
pretty
do
well.
agree
Yeah.
though with Danger or like when she said it last week. I think every team should have at least one player represented.
A
Even
minimum.
even when it comes to injuries, like
Yeah.
look at what happened when Tage Thompson went down.
Mhm.
They brought in someone from the Sabres to take his place. So they brought Rasmus
Right.
Dahlin in. I think if a
Right.
player
Right.
gets hurt, someone on that team should
Yeah.
represent
It
because
should be the
Seattle was completely left out.
yeah,
And the
know.
yeah,
Islanders had
which is
4
not
fucking people. Like,
there's
Right.
there's no reason whatsoever for the Islander or for the Kraken to be left out completely. Like no
Yeah.
reason for that.
yeah.
And for so many teams like I don't know. And even if they changed it to like a 4-on-4 or 5-by-5, right? That does open up the potential for others to place. But I don't even think why did it have to be the 4 divisions coming down? Like I just think it could be done differently, or like maybe the day before you do the first set of games. Because I know like a couple of the
Mhm.
Central Division guys were like, well, we played and did well, and then we were cold by the time the second game started
Yeah.
because there's
Yeah.
so much time in between them. So it's like
Right.
either do a full like 24 hours, or even 12 hours, whatever, or have a bigger team. I don't know. I don't know how to fix it. But yeah, I think it was too much all at once.
Mhm.
I mean, the ratings weren't as bad. I mean, in recent years, there was a average of 1.5 million. Um, Last year was 1.15, the worst. That was, I
Mhm.
think, the worst since 2015.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's definitely up a tick, and I think a
Right.
lot of it had to do with the pandemic and people are still
Well,
slowly coming back into sports.
Yeah.
But
I
I've
don't
noticed
I
a
think
know.
it's
dip in all
also
All-Star games, like the NBA All-Star
Yeah.
game, the Pro
Yeah.
Bowl. You know,
it may also be in like a accessibility thing because it's on TNT,
Right.
which not everyone gets.
Yep.
was
Whereas
it
when
on
it was on
TNT? I thought it
ABC, everyone
was.
gets ABC.
Yeah, wasn't
Right.
it on ESPN?
Oh no, it was back
It,
on
or it
ABC
was
this
on
year. That's
ABC.
right.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say
The Winter Classic was on
the
TNT.
Winter Classic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Winter Classic was. Yeah.
Yeah. This is I think
Um.
the first time they've gone back to NBC. The last time was 3 years ago or
no, they were on
what?
ABC last year as well because
Yeah,
that's
Okay.
when
okay.
ESPN took over the
That's right.
rights. Because then they were on
That's right.
NBC from 2017 to 2020.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's what they're doing is great, but they could also do it differently. And again, it's just another one of those. Many people really care about All Star games because there's nothing on the line.
Right.
You know,
Right.
like how many people
Right.
actually watch the MLB All Star game? Not as many that watch the Home Run Derby. I'll tell you that.
Well,
You
right,
know?
and that's what I was just gonna say. Like the home run derby is always like my favorite part of the MLB stuff, and so I mean, I definitely think that like specializing certain events to kind of cater to where you're having the event was a really good idea.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean, that would like make me be excited to see what they come up with. I mean, if they specialize it every year, I mean, that could be really fun. And be a good way to bring some people in, but not everybody is as nerdy as I am, so
Hey,
maybe not care as much about the specialty stuff. But I don't know. The dunk tanks were a nice touch. I enjoyed watching
that was
them
cool.
try to
That was
sneak
cool.
each
I
other down.
enjoyed that.
Like, it was funny. D.
Yeah.
Do you have our 3 stars of the week this week?
I do have our 3 stars of the week this week.
That's good, because I don't.
So
I'm glad you do.
I do. All right, so we're going to start with the 3rd star this week. We have Mitch Marner, who's a right winger for the Toronto Maple Leafs. He set a single tournament record with 6 assists in the Atlantic Division's 2 games at the NHL All-Star Championship weekend. So he had 3 assists in each game, which is nice. His team won.
Yeah.
So
Right.
that's great for them. So yeah, he got the 3rd star this week. There's not really a lot there. It's hard because this week's 3 stars are all about the All-Star week.
Yeah.
So the stats are kind of like, oh, okay, that doesn't really help his team any. It just helps him.
Right.
So the 2nd star is Dylan Larkin, a center for the Detroit Red Wings. He had 5 goals and 1 assist in the 2 games for the Atlantic Division's win, which is pretty good too. His 5 goals matched a single tournament record first achieved by Thomas Hertl in 2020 with the Pacific Division. So that's impressive. 5 goals is nice.
Right.
And then, shocking absolutely nobody. 1st star is Matthew Tkachuk, left winger for the Florida Panthers. He was this year's MVP, so it makes sense that they would then also give him 1st star. He had 4 goals and 3 assists in 2 games, and that's what helped get him the MVP honors. They won. He was also obviously playing for the Atlantic Division. All 3 of the stars were. They won 10-6 over the Metro Division. Kills my soul. And then 7-5 over the Central Division to clinch it. And obviously, the Chuck brothers were a huge help to that. But Matthew just a little bit more special.
And he won a car.
And was a little bit extra.
He did win a car.
He won a car.
He won a car. Which I don't understand that, if I'm completely honest.
It's because Honda sponsors the All-Star game.
Why does Matthew Tkachuk need a car? He has millions of dollars.
I literally think it's just because Honda sponsors it.
Yeah.
It is, but like I genuinely want to know, do they keep it?
I believe.
Do you think?
I think they have the option to.
I know when Crosby won MVP of the All-Star game, he said he did actually keep that car, and he still has it.
Really?
But for him, I think it's more of a trophy thing, like with the jersey.
Yeah,
because say, hey,
like,
this was fucking cool. I probably don't drive this car, but I have this because I won it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, which I think that's a dope reason. But yeah, I don't know, the car thing I've always found kind of funny, but again, like it's sponsored by Honda. I get why they're getting in. I mean, I think it's a Pilot that he got. It's a really nice,
beautiful car.
It's a really nice SUV.
It is. I love the color of it too.
The color of it,
like, a little, but like the car in general looked very nice. I like the size of it.
Yeah, I think it's a Pilot. I could be wrong.
I think it is too, or it's a newer Honda.
It looks roomy though.
It does. It looks very roomy. Because it almost looks like a cross between like a Honda Pilot, and then
it is in fact the new 2023 Honda Pilot.
It is the Pilot,
or 2024, I think.
Right.
But yeah, that's the new Honda Pilot, which does look nice. I agree.
Yeah, it does look very nice. But yeah, it'll be very interesting to see if he keeps it or not.
Yeah, if we see him driving.
I know somebody was like, "Give it to your mom,"
right?
Because she was in
with the logos on it all.
Yeah, always.
Give it to Brady. Be like, "Hey, this is what you couldn't win."
Yeah, right. Be like, I guess, like, give it to you, maybe.
Yeah.
That's how you assert dominance as the older brother.
Right. And I was like just here for all of the like sibling rivalry, knowing that we're gonna get the ultimate sibling rivalry on Sunday with the Super Bowl, the Kelsey brothers. So I was
even though Travis is infinitely better.
Oh yeah.
Also,
very
shout
much
out to their mom who said, "I'm going to be rooting for the offense."
I love that. I love that.
So
Who
great.
knows who she's going to root for?
That's awesome.
The offense.
The offense.
Yeah,
Yep.
I love that.
Well, I know this isn't a football podcast, but obviously Super Bowl is this weekend. Who do we think's gonna win?
Who do we think is
Can
going
I
to win, or
answer
who do
with
I
yeah,
want to win?
Who's your pick
questions.
to win it? I guess we'll say.
I would rather have the Chiefs win it.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think
Agreed.
the
But I
Chiefs are
think the
better
Eagles
team,
are going to take it again. But I'm not excited about that.
I don't know.
I mean, the Chiefs very easily could. I mean, I haven't watched a ton of them this year.
Yeah.
But
we'll see.
Yeah.
I think the Chiefs. I think it's going to be a good game. Everyone thinks. I know people that think it's going to be a blowout. I'm like, no, it's going to be a close game.
It's going to be a good game.
Yeah. No, I think it'll be a really good game. I'm actually kind of excited for it this year.
Yeah, you probably should.
So that it's not sold out by the time I get around to it this weekend.
Right? For sure.
You guys, anyone throwing a Super Bowl party this weekend?
No.
Too old to throw parties.
He's like, yeah, I'm just gonna sit at home and drink beer and watch it, which is probably what I'll do.
Yeah.
Because
I mean,
I'll be packing if anything.
Because my Super Bowl is until next weekend. For those that know me, next weekend is the Daytona 500, which is my Super Bowl. I'll be definitely doing some.
I have a lot of stuff coming up this month, so I'm just gonna keep it low key and not do a lot of social events because I have work conferences and things that I have to go to. So
you've got lacrosse season starting, which that's another
super exciting thing for you to go through.
Yeah.
You know what is starting? Or what's actually continuing through to March right now, I don't think we've touched on, is the NHL, the EA Sports NHL 23 World Championships. The tournament started in December, and it's going till March 9th, which is, it's kind of cool because usually the final few games, they end up airing on ESPN, which is awesome. For those that are cool gamers like ourselves, first off, esports being on regular TV is the coolest thing ever, and I'm fucking here for it.
For sure.
But ESPN getting their hand in a little bit of sport esports, which is dope.
Right? Who knew?
Yeah.
I know. As I'm literally watching, I pull up the Ducks game, I got the ad for it, and I was like, how have we not talked about this?
Yeah.
But yeah, keep up with it. I'm sure it's probably streaming on Twitch somewhere. If not, check it out on ESPN when they have the finals. It's going to be a good time. Usually those the people that participate make me look even shittier than I actually am at NHL. But it's insane watching them play. So they're so good.
Yeah. Matt's been playing a lot of NHL stuff at his dad's house and was going through as we were watching the All-Star stuff and making rosters in all these different scenarios. It was pretty cute, but it's fun. I haven't played any. I think the only NHL game I've ever actually put time into is NHL 95 on
that game was so good.
Oh my god,
that game was so good. It's a classic.
Right. You can't go wrong with it.
No.
Well, moving on from that, I did pre-look as of shortly before starting to record. We have no naughty boys this week.
No naughty
nobody
boys
is suspended or got fined over the weekend, which is a good thing.
Right.
Because we can only imagine how crazy the party buses got, in Florida.
Oh yeah.
So now, as the true teller, is how many unknown illnesses do we have this week?
Again, considering how many Islanders players were there.
Right. Exactly.
There might be a certain bus that a lot of people are a part of.
Right.
They are the captains of that bus, that is for sure.
We'll go through and just update. Hopefully too many of them won't be repeats or anything like that. But from Anaheim, we have Troy Terry, who missed their last game with an upper body injury. Unknown if he will be back Friday for their game against the Penguins. So,
that's going to be fun in my house.
Right?
Yeah.
And then Urho Vakanainen. I know we talked about him again last week, but I think this is just another update to say out indefinitely. He does say that he will spend an undetermined length of time on the injured reserve list due to unspecified ailments. So unknown what's going on with him. Hopefully things are all right. Kind of an interesting way to word things, but
right.
That is what it is. For Arizona, we don't have anybody new or updated on Arizona.
Nice.
For Boston, we have Jake DeBrusk, who has moved to long-term IR with a lower body injury, expected to remain idle until the middle of February. That was updated as of the day we recorded last week. And then Vinny Letteretti hit the IR with lower body injury, no timetable for his return, which I think is the update with him. Tage Thompson did get removed from their game prior to the All-Star conference or All-Star weekend, which is what kept him from attending. But he has an upper body injury. Not known if he will be able to join his team to face the Flames on Saturday.
Yep.
For Carolina, we have Matt Pacioretty, who is now on long-term IR after tearing his right Achilles tendon, most likely out for the rest of the season. And then Jacob Slavin is idle with a lower body injury, will remain out of action until middle of February. For Chicago, we have Jared Tenorti, who is activated off of the injured IR after recuperating from the surgery to repair that facial fracture from when he got a puck to the face. But it is unknown if he will be joining his team Friday against the Coyotes. And then we have Jonathan Chose, was held out of the last contest with an illness, uncertain if he will also be back. Nobody new or different going on in Colorado, because I'm pretty sure we talked about Landeskog last time. He's out the middle of or beginning of March. For Columbus, we have Nick Blankenberg, who missed the last 3 games with an upper body injury, may or may not be able to return when they play the Maple Leafs on Friday. I literally just was buffering. Adam Boquist, he missed the previous 2 games with an upper body injury. Remains also to be seen if he will be available Friday against the Maple Leafs. Igor Chinakhov is on IR with a high ankle sprain, expected still to remain idle until middle of February, which I think is what we had discussed. Gustav Nyquist has now been designated to the IR with a shoulder injury, projected now to miss the rest of the season. We have Lane Pedersen, who missed the previous game due to an issue regarding his immigration papers. Unclear if he will be able to lace up against the Maple Leafs on Friday. That kind of sucks.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully they can figure all of that out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good luck.
I don't know if he's somebody that they brought up because of injuries or what, or if he's been playing on the main roster for all season.
Lane Pedersen,
I don't know.
He's been up, I believe, for most of the year.
Right?
Yeah, agreed. I think so.
Oh yeah. Because this is his third year in the league, even.
Yeah,
so
he's got 3 points on the
so
season.
I wonder
how
what
much
happened.
he's missed,
Anyway, right.
Yeah.
It's just interesting that now they're having issues with it, but
right.
Obviously, the Wild had that issue with Kirill over the summer too, so I can understand. And then for Dallas, they have no injuries reported. Yet again, I said this last week. I'll say it again. We need to fix that. For Detroit, we have Philip Zindia, or Zadnia, whatever it is. He was activated from the IR list after recovering from his lower body injury. He has gone on a conditioning assignment right now. Not expected to come back until middle of February. So it looks like he is rehabbing still, but at least is active. For Edmonton, we have Ryan Murray, who was shuttled to IR with a back injury, not expected to return until middle of February. Hopefully nothing too terribly serious there. For Florida, we have Alexander Barkov, was removed from the previous game with an undefined issue. And he was at the All-Star game, so I don't know if that last game was All-Star game.
Yeah, on the real, this is the third time he's been on the IR this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that he had been off and on again.
Yeah, he's been hurt 3 different times this year.
Yeah. But
He's
at least
overwrapped.
as of right now, it is anticipated that he will be back when Florida plays the Sharks on Thursday. I know words.
No, you don't. Neither do I.
No,
Neither
I
does
don't.
D.
That's a
why we
lie.
get along. None of us can
I know
fucking
no words.
read.
Yeah,
Right?
very true.
For the Kings, we have Gabriel Velarde. He is sidelined with an upper body injury, remain out of action until at least the middle of February. We have an injury on the Wild again. Jonas Brodin right now is sore, we'll say. He's battling a lower body injury, unlikely that he'll play tomorrow against the Stars. I don't think he played yesterday against the Coyotes, but I might be wrong on that. I wasn't home last night, so I didn't watch that game.
Dude, Montreal.
For Montreal,
fuck, their list is still
anybody
super
even
long.
left in Montreal without injuries?
I know.
I don't think so.
They're gonna start bringing people in off the street.
Yeah,
literally.
Like
The janitor
not
will be
even
playing for
one,
them
two.
next
it's
week.
just the fucking AHL team is playing at this point.
Yeah.
They have 12
Legit.
injuries right now, and so many of them are long-term
names.
injuries.
Yeah,
and big
most
names.
of
Yeah,
Like
that's the
big
other thing.
players on the team.
Right, yeah. But for newer updates, we have Joel Edmondson, who missed the previous 2 games due to an upper body injury. Not yet confirmed if he's going to play against the Islanders on Saturday. Emil Heineman is still sidelined with an upper body injury. May be back middle of February. And then Sean Monahan is now on long-term IR with a lower body injury, not projected to return sooner than the middle of February. That's updates there. For Nashville, I need to stop clicking on everything. We have Alexander Carrier or Cartier or go fuck your mom. I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that.
Yeah, I would advise against.
Yeah, don't do that, but goddamn.
Yeah.
That took a turn.
I have to make sure my co-hosts stay awake while I do these.
That
I
took
just
a
like to slide
turn
things.
that I was not expecting.
And every once in a while. It's better when I don't laugh and I just let it settle, but I can keep from laughing.
That was good. That was good.
When-
Be proud of that one.
He is
proud of that
idle right now with an upper body injury, not expected to return for at least 4 to 6 weeks. So that puts him at like early March. For the Islanders, we have Alexander Romanov, missed the last contest due to a personal matter. I can read. Unknown if he will be with his team to face the Canucks on Thursday. And then Oliver Wahlstrom has been shuttled to the injured reserve list with a head ailment. Not expected to, or he is expected to now miss the remainder of the season, so not coming back. Going down, Cam Talbot still has that lower body injury, not likely to return until middle of February.
That's good for
And then
Ottawa, considering they had several injuries a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
a
they
lot.
did.
So
they
if
did.
Talbot
to be
and
down
Norris,
to 2,
and Norris is out
and
for the
Norris
season.
is,
So.
but yeah. I mean, he's relatively. Was he newer on the? I don't remember. It might be an update as of this year, but I feel like he's been out the majority of the season.
Yeah, he's been out for at least a few weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
So definitely before the 25th.
Yeah. So good for Ottawa.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Getting a lot of people back.
Yeah. Yeah.
They heard Ryan Reynolds was showing up, so they decided to show up too.
Everyone needs to get healthy.
Same.
For right, I mean, big same. For Philly, the only update is on Jack McEwen, who is still recovering from jaw surgery, expected to miss at least 5 weeks, which has him returning about early March.
Because he got knocked the fuck out.
He did in a good, clean fight.
That was a fun fight.
It was a fun fight.
It was a fun fight.
Foligno 100%, I don't think, anticipated breaking the man's jaw, but sometimes you don't know your own strength. For
For sure.
Pittsburgh, we have update on Tristan Jarry, who is out of action on IR with upper body issue, but may be able to return middle of February, this says. So that's a good thing for Pittsburgh. For San Jose, we have Radim Simic. He's now on IR with upper body injury, not likely to return until middle of February. For Seattle, we have Andre Barkovsky. It's that A in there that's tripping me up right now.
Fuck yeah.
He was lifted from the previous game with a lower body injury, not known if he will be back with the team when they face the Devils on
He's another
Thursday.
one. Middle of the game, they just lift him to the heavens.
Yeah, they just lifted him to the heavens, man. And then Chris Dreiger was moved to injured reserve list after having ACL surgery, will not be available until middle of February minimum. So I think they moved him probably off of long-term to regular IR, is my assumption there. For St. Louis, we have really just Robert Thomas missed the previous 2 games with a lower body injury. Not known if will be joining the team on Saturday when they play the Coyotes. For Tampa Bay, we have Nicholas Paul, who was forced from the last contest with an unspecified issue. May not or may be able to join his team on Thursday when they play the Avalanche. Going down to Toronto, we have Victor Met, an update on him. He was added to the long-term IR with a lower body injury, not expected to return until middle of February. Matt Murray is still hurt with that ankle injury, expected to return maybe middle of February. For Vancouver, we have Ilya Mikheyev, which I'm sure is wrong, but
no, that was perfect. That was perfect.
Awesome. He was added to long-term IR after also undergoing ACL surgery, expected to be out for the rest of the season. Sucks for Vancouver.
A little bit.
No other new updates there. For Vegas, an update on Mark Stone. He is sidelined after undergoing back surgery. A timetable for recovery has not yet been established.
I'd be shocked if he comes back this year.
Yeah, I would too, with how late it is in the year. For Washington, we still have John Carlson out on long-term IR with that facial injury, not returning to the lineup until at least the end of February. And then Nick Dowd, also on IR with a lower body injury, not expected to return before the middle of February. And Tom Wilson is still out with a lower body injury, but maybe he'll come back as soon as middle of February, this said.
Hope so.
So hopefully sooner rather than
He's
later.
Played a whole 3 games this season.
Right?
Yeah.
And then for Winnipeg, we have Mason Appleton, landed on IR after undergoing wrist surgery. But right now, this is huge, is expected to return against the Blackhawks on Saturday.
Oh, that's a fast turnaround.
Nice.
That is a fast turnaround.
Yeah.
And then Dylan DeMello is idle with lower body injury, not expected to return until middle of February. So mostly updates, some new ones going on, but that's kind of what's going on injury-wise around the league.
Yeah. Glad to see no one got hurt at the All-Star game, sounds like.
Right?
Oh, it's a fucking miracle.
Yeah.
Because they've been getting hurt all year.
Especially with how they were, right? Yeah, it was just fun to see them all kind of goof around with each other. It's so fun to watch them. And watch, like, some of them fangirl over each other and, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was just fun.
The cutest.
Right? But before we sign off of this podcast, Chris, who is our obscure player of the week?
Oh, well, I'm glad you asked, Danger. Our obscure player of the week is a man by the name of Peter Busick. He is a retired player born in the Czech Republic. He played 157 games in the NHL, had 9 goals, 22 assists, 94 penalty minutes. He most notably played for the Dallas Stars in 1998-1999. Anyone know what happened that year?
They won the Stanley Cup.
They won the Stanley Cup. He also played for the Atlanta Thrashers and the Calgary Flames.
Okay.
Which is, I mean, kind of funny that he played for the defunct Atlanta team and then the team that also used to be in Atlanta, the Flames.
That's fair.
He did play a lot
True.
overseas. He had and obviously down lower, especially in the IHL, where he had 201 career games, 174 penalty minutes. We love our feisty boys.
Yeah.
I do love feisty boys.
He did play internationally for the Czech Republic in four different tournaments, one of which was the Ice Hockey World Championships in 2000, where Czech Republic won gold.
Okay.
Nice.
It doesn't
Very
say
nice.
what he's doing now, but I mean,
Chilling like a villain, I'm assuming.
he
Yeah.
is most notably the Atlanta Thrashers' first ever representative when he was named into the 2000 All-Star Game.
Okay.
Nice.
Which is,
Yeah.
I'd say that's a pretty cool honor.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He was drafted in 1995, 63rd overall by the Stars, but prior to that, he was involved in a serious car accident after falling asleep at the wheel and colliding with a tree, broke both of his legs, nose, and wrist, and shattered his right kneecap, fractured his left cheekbone, and cracked his forehead.
Wow.
So it'd be shorter to list what he didn't fucking break.
For
Jesus
real.
Christ.
Right. Yeah.
He was still drafted 63rd overall, so I mean,
that's nothing to turn your nose up
no,
at.
that's at that point
Right,
that was
not
what,
at all.
third round. So
Yeah.
shout out to Peter Buzik for
Right on. Nice
you
work,
know,
Peter.
a fucking tank,
actually,
evidently.
even though
Jesus.
he's pretty obscure, but I mean, decent little career.
Yeah. Not bad at all.
No,
Not bad at all.
Not bad at all. Good for you, Peter.
Good
for not letting that tree win.
for
Good
you.
for you for not giving that tree the
Letting
power.
Tree win. Yeah. You keep your power, Peter.
That's right. We can overpower the trees. Just no, not physically.
Pretty sure M. Night Shyamalan made a movie about when the trees overpower you.
In
That is
Sylvia's
true.
restaurant,
In
the trees overpower you. That just reminds me of, and this one it comes back to being hockey related. It's the outdoor game or practice for the Wild. When it was super cold outside, and the guy recording it asked Krill, "Well, aren't you cold?" And he goes, "I am from Siberia. I am never cold."
That's funny.
This reminds me of that. Anyway, thank you guys again so much for joining us every week. You literally make our lives interesting and fun because we get to do this for you guys every week. As a reminder, there will not be a Pucked Up podcast next week. We are taking the week off. Bitch. This bitch is going on vacation. So we're all kind of taking a vacation. But we will be back the week after that.
To celebrate our 1 year anniversary as a company.
Yes, to celebrate LTN Media's 1 year anniversary. As a company. If you don't know, we also have a Twitch channel, YouTube, all that fun stuff where we do lots of other things in addition to talking about hockey. We like other things too, guys. So come check us out on Twitch or YouTube and see what we got going on there.
Check out the merch store too. The merch store is dope. We have a lot of fun stuff up there. We're constantly coming up with new ideas. New things are constantly going up. So always keep an eye on that. We keep that in the description as well. You guys want to go check out some cool merch.
Yep. So that's down in the description. Our Discord server is down in the description, as well as the link to our other channels and other activities. If you end up having a question of the week, you can submit it just about anywhere. We even accept carrier pigeons. Specifically Hedwig, though. If you're going to send it to me personally, I only respond to Hedwig.
Also, if you guys want to leave us a voice message, we have those set up. Go over to anchor.fm/LTN_media. Leave us a voice message, and just about your thoughts on the week or current situation for your team or anything in the NHL. We'd love to hear from you guys. And even if we get one, we'll play it on the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
That is a great thing. Thank you for letting us know, because I didn't know that the phone number was, or the voicemail was all up and working.
I had it set up, I want to say a couple months ago, but I just, with everything else, I totally forgot about it.
Well, and I vaguely remember it not like working the way we thought it would at first.
Yeah.
Or like having, Anyway, so definitely go check that out. But otherwise, the only other thing I have to tell you is that we love you, mother puckers. And we'll see you next time in that face-off circle.
This has been an LTN Media production.